Yeah, I'm Joe. Uh, vocalist, drums for Vacuous. Yeah, from London.
Yeah, I'm Michael. Do guitars, do a bit of songwriting. Yeah, um, that's pretty much it. Yeah, based in London as well.
Okay. So one of the questions I had was, how did you guys meet each other? Where did you guys discover, I guess, your connection with each other?
So from my standpoint, I guess I've been kind of wanting to play in a band for a while. I mean, I've been playing guitar for ages, but I just never really had it together to like get a band going. And yeah, I just ended up like reaching out to like an acquaintance of mine, and then who introduced me to Joe. And we were initially going to do like I guess kind of a black metal project with this other dude.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, that ended up kind of falling through. But Joe and I stayed in touch, and I think we were just kind of discussing music, and then Joe introduced me to Damien, our bass player, and then it just kind of took off from there. Just started writing some songs, and yeah, we just kind of
yeah,
experimented a lot on took a while to figure out like what we had in common and what we didn't, but yeah, I think we got there in the end.
It's
yeah.
nice. How did you guys come on the topic of like what you're doing right now? So like death slash doom metal, like a mix of those two?
I think it's just kind of it was sort of trial and error. We didn't necessarily like set out to be like a death metal band to start out with. I mean, um, I think like speaking from my perspective, like I think I'm the member that's like the most grounded in metal in general, but there's a lot of like punk coming from the other members. So I'll maybe let Joe jump in on that one, get his their perspective on
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah, like me and Dame, we're big into like grindcore and shit like that, and like power violence, that type of shit. Like that's what we listen to first, I guess. And then
yeah,
but I mean I think all three of us listen to everything really. Like we all listen to like fucking death, like old school death metal, and the more current bands as well, and like lots of black metal as well. Like for me now, like kind of rotates between like punk, hardcore, and death and black metal. But right now, I've just been listening to black metal all day,
yeah.
basically. Yeah,
I think we kind of just sort of settled on writing within sort of the death metal template because the way I see it of like all the extreme like music forms, it kind of gives you the widest like kind of canvas because you can bring in all these different elements and still call it a death
yeah,
metal song.
Yeah.
Like you can have like an atmospheric black metal bit, as an interlude or whatever. You can have doomy bits, you can have grinds, like hyper aggressive sections, and it can still, kind of be packaged as death metal. So I think that's kind
yeah,
of why we ended up doing that because we could shoehorn all these things that we like as individuals.
yeah. It just sounds fucking good, like loud as shit as well.
Yeah.
Like all the shit we were doing, like yeah, just down tune it and just play fucking fast and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like we didn't set out to be like, yeah, let's write songs, let that sound like Entombed or like, any. We didn't have like specific references like that.
Okay. So, one of the ones I wanted to ask you was, what are some of the hobbies you guys have outside of making music that people might find interesting?
Hmm. Um,
Michael goes first.
okay. Um, so I would say the other hobby I have that takes up most of my time, aside from my deadbeat job, is I'm a home brewer, so I make my own beer. And you may notice that there's a song on the EP that's called Fermentation.
Yeah,
So that's that.
Yeah,
Was I not supposed to give that away? Sorry. Yeah, that comes from that.
it's cool.
yeah. Oh shit, yeah. I don't know. I'm not really interested. I guess shit. I've been running a lot. Michael knows. Trying to get fit, trying to lose weight. Been running a lot. Just collect records, really. Um, I don't know. That's it. Read. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of the best concerts you guys have been to? Like, what is, in your opinion, the best concert you've been to? I like to ask that question to everyone, so.
That's a good one.
Oof.
I
Yeah.
got one already.
Yeah,
We
go
were
ahead.
talking about this the other day. It was when I saw a Akitsa
Oh yeah.
in Black Heart in London, and they brought I can't remember the name of one other band from Canada. It's like Verglass or something like that, and
Oh yeah.
Sump from Yorkshire. They were really fucking good, and like I kind of just found the gig by accident, like the day before, and I was like, oh shit, okay, and just good vibes, loud, evil sounding, yeah.
It's
Mm.
cool.
I don't know. Like in recent memory, like obviously I haven't been to a show in ages, but last summer I got to see so you know Hellhammer, Tom G Warrior. He's got like a obviously it's not the actual band, but it's called like Triumph of Death or something. Um, that was I was just expecting it to kind of suck. It was like at a festival in the Czech Republic at I think like at 2 a.m. I was ready to go to bed, but they just came out and it was just it sounded like just like you want to sound, like raw as hell. Um, yeah, and it's probably the last time. I'm not big on like pits or anything, but it's probably the last times I got involved in that kind of thing. But yeah, that's good.
It's cool. So one of the things I was gonna ask you guys was when you were talking about your album in the description, you were talking how it was kind of based off depressive London like 2020. So I was gonna ask you guys, what is it like living in London in 2020? What is your opinion on that?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like London's any more depressive than any other place. It's been a shit year for everyone, but I don't know. From one thing that's like on my mind is we've got a conservative government and we've got Brexit coming up in like a month, and nobody knows what the fuck's going to happen after that. So everyone's like our generation's future has been kind of just sold out essentially. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't say that's anything that sort of motivated the writing of REP, but yeah, I think just it's just kind of a I don't know if you've been to the UK, but like it's kind of a somber mood in general, just kind of the weather. And I don't know, I'm saying this as someone who's not from here but who's lived here for the past decade, so yeah, I
yeah.
don't know, Joe.
I
Born
mean,
and
to
bred
be
in London.
honest, yeah, like our album wasn't really about living in the UK. Like I think that was some stuff that PR like slapped on at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah, I think so.
Like
Yeah,
we were more, I think me and Michael, like we were going back and forth about like we were. I was reading Annihilation, like a sci-fi novel. And there's like this bit in the book where they go down like this tower underground and shit like that, and like lots of like Junji Ito as well, um, who is a Japanese like horror manga artist, and we were just looking at uh, the idea of like spaces being like inherently evil or like malignant towards you, if that makes sense. So we were
Uh,
doing that, so like yeah, that kind of shit.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think, but also like I think us being sort of like just stuck in the same place is like we just kind of,
Probably
and
influenced it.
we kind of yeah just went down that hole of like obsessing over sort of weird places, like reading about caves and like underground settlements and shit like that. Yeah.
Just
cool.
nerdy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So let's jump into. I want to jump into some of the questions I had about the album.
Yeah.
So, when did you guys start writing the album, and then how long did it like take you guys to get from pre-production to being able to release it?
We started
Um,
right after
yeah,
the
right
demo,
after
right?
the demo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So it's all come together quite quickly. Like we had our first rehearsal as a band in January, I think. And yeah, I think the like first month and a half, like we just spent like tinkering around, and we I guess got 3 songs together and sort of recorded those in our practice space as our demo. And I think we just put it out, and then right after that, we started writing for it. But that happened to be lockdown, so we were all kind of stuck in our homes. So yeah, writing was just kind of sending back and forth, like MP3 files to each other. I'd like track down a guitar riff, send it to Joe to do some drums and maybe some vocal ideas and whatever. And I think yeah, I'm not sure when we finished recording. Do you remember? Was it like June or something?
Yeah, it was in the summer, and then we were trying to find someone to mix it, and that didn't actually take that long.
Yeah.
But we were like revising the tracks over and over and over again. Like I remember recording so many different drum beats to Unmarked Grave, and it just somehow happened to be like it first was going to be like kind of like revenge-y kind of shit, and then it just it just morphed like a lot over time. But
yeah,
the post-production shit, like getting mixed and mastered, was probably the quickest. That shit happened in like within 2-3 weeks. So yeah.
But yeah, I guess like interestingly, like we didn't jam like any of the stuff in person until after we'd recorded it. So yeah, I don't know if that came across on the recording or not, but still, I'm pretty happy regardless.
So going along with that question, I was gonna ask, so how much like experience do you guys have like playing your instruments? And I wanted to ask Joe how like long he's been doing death metal vocals for.
Death metal vocals for maybe 2 years, 3 years, I think. Because like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Actually, maybe no, less than that. Actually, yeah, probably like 2 years more or less. I was originally, when we met as a band, I put like an ad out saying I was a drummer and I wanted to do like vocals for like a hardcore band. And then yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. But how long I've been drumming? Probably since like 14. But I kind of like asked it. Like I was really shit because I never practiced. And then it was only when I only started like learning how to do like death metal drumming probably around last year, I think. Yeah, pretty much it.
So Michael, how long have you been playing guitar for?
A really long time. So I should be like I don't know, I should be like a guitar wizard at this point, but surprisingly still amateurish. I think I started when I was like 12 or 13. Yeah, but I mean, I didn't take it super seriously as a teen. I just kind of wanted to do like Metallica covers or whatever. And then I kind of, I've always had a guitar and just noodled around, but it wasn't until maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago that I actually like started trying to learn how to play like, extreme metal and figured out how to write riffs that, that sort of corresponded to what I was listening to. But yeah, that was just kind of trial and error. And I think, yeah, just sort of got it down just in time for this band. So.
I was gonna also ask about the brand of instruments you guys use. Like, what do you prefer instrument-wise, or what did you use to record?
So I'm like probably the worst person to answer this because I'm well, Joe knows, like I'm completely like anti-gear. I'm like, my kind of philosophy is if your riff doesn't sound good, like with no distortion on an acoustic guitar, it's probably not worth recording. So yeah, at the moment, all of my gear is pretty embarrassing, but yes, I recorded the EP on an Epiphone SG, straight into like one of those Behringer interfaces, and then basically had that reamped later on. I guess the engineer used like some fancy like Mesa Boogie rectifier amp or something. But yeah, like that's pretty much it's pretty bare bones. Once we start like thinking about playing live, then I'm gonna have to like do some big boy spending, and get a real amp, real guitar, and all that. But I've managed to avoid that until now.
Yeah, I just recorded it on electronic drums because in London there's not a lot of space. So if you have like an actual drum kit, you're probably somewhere far in the country where no one can fucking complain and shit. So.
But it's also the time as well. Like we didn't have access to like a studio or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, and we had no money.
And we had no money.
So I was gonna ask you guys, what are you guys working on now? Because you guys just released your EP. What are you planning on? What are you working on now? And maybe, are you guys looking towards like practicing for maybe starting to do performances in the future, or are you guys working on another album, or what's happening right now?
So yeah, we started writing again. I think the goal is to have like do another bit of recording like early next year, but it wouldn't be a full length. It'd be like a short sort of split or a single release. But yeah, it's still early days. Like we managed to get a bit of practicing in over the summer when they kind of lifted restrictions, but obviously we've had to stop that. So yeah, it's just like as and when we're able to sort of get shows booked, then we'll take rehearsing more seriously.
Yeah, I think hopefully next summer, if it's safe, we want to try and do as many shows as possible. Just get that experience, because right now like the reception's been good, but it's only been like from online, obviously. Like no one probably in our local area knows what we're doing. Like in London, people are like, who the fuck are these people? So
yeah,
we kind of want to like get some stripes with that.
Yeah, I think also it's like you don't want to build up your band too much without like getting that validation of doing one show, because it's like if we go ahead and put out like a full length and push it and do a bunch of promotion around it, and then build up expectations around ourselves as a band, but we haven't even done a single show, I don't think that's what we want to do. So yeah, hopefully we can get like the sooner the better, really.
And then I was gonna ask about like some of your music that you're planning on doing in the future. Are you guys planning on doing the same type of genre, or are you gonna try and experiment a little bit, maybe change things up?
I mean, you definitely like don't want to do the same like song or riff twice. Think it will still like I want it to sound coherent with what we've put out. But yeah, I think we seem to be going in a more, I want to say like extreme direction, like or more like chaotic, hectic direction. I don't know. Without giving too much away, how do you feel about it, Joe?
Yeah, like no, I hear what you're saying. How much do you want to give away?
I mean,
yeah, like we definitely want to like mess with incorporating. I personally want to incorporate more like black metal elements, like with vocals and stuff. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I think we've been listening to a lot of war metal as well, so that's probably like a good indication of where we're going. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I think like I don't know, because we've been from my standpoint, we've been like promoting the band online a lot, so I'm sort of aware, like a lot more so now than I was like earlier in the year, of like what's sort of common practice in death metal, like a lot of the trends and stuff. And it's like I would hate to just be like one more band that's doing sort of like fat beefy death metal or whatever is kind of like the maggot stomp type stuff or whatever. But so yeah, hopefully moving in like a more extreme, like darker direction.
Okay. And then wrap things up. This is the last question. So if you guys had one message for your fans, what would it be?
We have fans?
Yeah. we can pretend.
Yeah. One message. Um, uh, I don't know, support your local like record stores and shit, and your local scene. Do
Yeah,
that shit. Yeah,
maybe check if your favorite venue has like a crowdfunder or something, so they're still open
yeah,
after all this. Yeah.
yeah. Like this recording studio in London, like North London, got like burnt down. Like I think like a couple months ago, right? Like Fuzzbrain
Oh,
got
Fuzzbrain,
burnt
hey.
down. So I think people piled together to get some support for that. But yeah, so yeah, like just check in on your local scene, venues and shit.
Yeah.
So one thing I was gonna ask you guys actually was, so you guys have done CD releases and you've done cassette releases. Are you guys planning on doing maybe vinyl in the future?
I think we can safely say that like that's what we would like to happen. I don't want to give too much away, but like that's
Yeah.
where we'd like things to head. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we wanted to start out kind of conservatively, you know, as you said, without there being shows, we weren't really sure how much demand. We didn't even know if like the initial run of tapes would sell out. So we just wanted to start small and build from there.
Mhm.
Um,
Especially with F Head. Well, I know he doesn't like us saying that. Fuck hype,
I,
endless disappointment. It's just a one man thing, so it's not like any. We don't have like huge production power or whatever. So it's up to him really because he's done a lot for us in terms of like pushing the band and wanting to get us, you know, opportunities and shit. So yeah.
yeah,
So hopefully
yeah.
it's yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like taking us on as one of his like main projects. So I think we'll just sort of go with the flow on that one.
And then just to end things off, I want to thank you guys again for coming and taking your time out of your day to do this interview. And I'll post all your guys' links in the description, social media, Bandcamp, everything like that.
Cool.
And it was pretty enjoyable meeting you guys. You guys are pretty cool. I like your music. Your demo was
Cheers.
actually one of my favorite demos of 2020 was probably your guys' demo. That was
Oh,
just
nice,
pretty good.
nice.
Wait, so you
Don't hear
found
too
us from
many.
the demo?
Yeah, yep. Found you guys from the
Nice.
demo on Bandcamp. It like recommended me it and just went from there. So,
Sweet.
and then Jim
Yeah.
sent me your guys' music early and reviewed it and all that. So, it's pretty cool.
Nice, yeah,
Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
yeah,
Yep.
definitely. This is our first like video interview, so yeah, cool.
Just try and get you guys some exposure. So,
Yeah.
um,
Cheers.